Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to week 7. We are almost halfway through the semester, if you can believe it. I wanted to just make a couple of points on the study guide for the next test, which is next week, and then go over just a couple of points on the PowerPoint this week, and then finish up with the study guide that pertains to energy balance and weight control. For here, nothing major. I just wanted to for the test, I want you guys to have a good understanding, like it says, of what are rich food sources of all the different types of fats and what their effect is on cholesterol. And the best way to really do this, I mean, you have to know all of the material, but here is the synopsis. This is under your week 5 and 6 content. It says fat map, diagram of dietary fat and effect on blood cholesterol. You can download it so it looks a little bit better than it looks here, but here are all the different types of fat. So you've got saturated, then unsaturated, the umbrella term here, and then under that it's poly and mono, and then over here trans. And what I've done is kind of give you a synopsis of what kinds of foods you're going to find high amounts of saturated fat, trans, mono, poly, and then what it does to the blood. So, for instance, saturated fat, in any kind of animal product that you have is going to be a rich source of saturated fat. The only real plants that are going to be high in saturated fat are going to be the tropical oils, and they're very high. And so here it shows you what does it do to the body. It raises total cholesterol by way of LDLs. Okay, trans fats. Here are some sources. And then why is trans fat worse? Because they raise total cholesterol and they lower that good cholesterol. And then if you just scroll down, it does the same for the omega-3s, omega-6. Okay, so this is a really, really good thing to fully understand kind of backwards and forwards. Food sources of cholesterol. Remember, you can only find cholesterol in animal products. It does not exist in plants. As far as, so this is kind of reiterating this, except with omega-3s, it has a lot more than just heart health in terms of the beneficial properties. So there is definitely some information in your book. There's also a couple of slides, or at least one slide in your fat PowerPoint that talks about beyond heart health, what are omega-3s really helpful for. You don't have to know, what levels of all the subcategories of cholesterol. Just know what normal and abnormal levels of total cholesterol are. Risk factors for CVD, pretty straightforward. Difference between LDL and HDL. So remember, LDL is the bad, HDL is the good, and know why. Remember, HDL carries fat away from the vessel wall, and therefore that's why they want that number to be as high as possible, because that can actually have the potential to reverse some of that fatty plaque or atherosclerosis. LDL is the bad, and that can really increase fat deposits in the arteries. How does fiber and alcohol, what kind of impact do they have on cholesterol levels? So remember, soluble fiber, what does it do? Alcohol, also very specific potential interaction with the fat in the blood, specifically on the HDL. So you're going to want to look at that. Strategies to reduce elevated triglycerides. Remember, this is the kind of fat that's in the blood that really responds very quickly to changes in diet. And there's it's on the PowerPoint, just a couple things that people can do to lower their triglycerides fairly quick. This is pretty straightforward. So that's it for fat, and let's just go on to, I just want to make a couple of points here in energy balance and weight control. Let me just get to the top. Energy output, these 4 categories here would equal 100% of output, or basically how many calories you burn in a day. The biggest contributor is going to be that basal and resting metabolic rate here. Essentially, for the purposes of this class, basal and resting are pretty much the same thing. And you can see here 60 to 70% of total energy is basal and resting metabolic rate. And this is basically how many calories your body burns just to keep it alive. No movement, no nothing. If you were laying in a bed for 24 hours, you didn't eat, you didn't move, this is how many calories your body would need to keep your heart beating and your brain functioning and your kidneys working and all that kind of thing. Okay? I would really know this slide. These are all factors that can influence metabolic rate. And it talks about it down here, but these can either increase or decrease. So thyroid can either decrease or increase depending if it's hyperthyroid, your metabolic rate is going to be fast. If it's hypothyroid, your metabolic rate is going to be slow. Body composition, this is really if a person has a lot of lean muscle mass compared to fat and adipose tissue, muscle mass is going to burn calories faster than fat tissue. Okay? That is why, so we come down to gender. This is why men have a faster metabolic rate than women, because naturally men have more muscle tissue. Women have more fat tissue. That's just the way it is naturally. And because of that, the body composition, men's BMR, basal metabolic rate, tends to be higher. As we age, our BMR, basal metabolic rate, goes down. Body surface area, obviously the bigger we are, the more calories we burn. Calorie intake very quickly. If somebody stays on a very, very low calorie diet, around 800 calories or less, for very long periods of time, their body is going to start to slow down. Their body perceives they're in starvation mode and their metabolic rate is going to slow down. Fever, stimulant drugs, pregnancy, lactation, recovery after exercise, all of those things would increase basal metabolic rate. Energy for physical activity, this is about 20% of calories burned every day. It can go up to 30%, just depends on how active the person is. And of course, a lot of it depends on this. And this is really going to tie in nicely to your discussion this week, the Time article discussion on why exercise won't make you thin. So I'm looking forward to hearing your posts about that. This is the other one I just want to spend 1 minute on because you need to know this for your test, and it's very, very important. You're going to need to know this when we get to diabetes. Just how to calculate a lot of different things depends on this equation here. So I have given you a lot of information here on the bottom. There are about 3,500 calories stored in 1 pound of fat. So let's just say somebody needs 2,000 calories every day to maintain the weight that they're at right now. That means if they want to lose 1 pound in a week, they're going to need to be in a 500 calorie deficit every day. Why? Because 500 calories a day times 7 days a week equals this 3,500 calories. So they need to be in a deficit of 500 calories every day to, by the end of the week, be in a deficit of 3,500 calories and to take off a pound. So if someone needed 2,000 calories a day to maintain weight, in order for them to lose 1 pound a week, they would need to eat 1,500 calories to have that 3,500 calorie deficit. And you might want to listen to that over and over until you're able to do that kind of equation. I might ask you, how do you lose 2 pounds in a week? Or maybe someone wants to gain a pound or 2 in a week. So it's all of the information is really here. Let's see. Yeah, I just wanted to go over those couple of things. So let me just finish up with the study guide quick. All right, so understand what BMR is. We just went over that. Understand factors that are going to impact BMR, increase or decrease. I just went over that. Know how many calories in 1 pound of body fat. Just went over that. This we did not go over, but it's in the PowerPoint. There is a population of people in this National Weight Control Registry. They are a unique population in that they have lost a lot of weight. These are people who have lost a lot of weight and kept it off for many, many years. And this is not the story that we usually hear when we talk about weight loss. So we have studied this population, and there are certain things unique to this population that they do. Things like eating breakfast, they exercise a lot, they hardly go out to eat, et cetera, et cetera. And I would look on the PowerPoint specifically. These suggestions are different than just general weight loss suggestions. These suggestions are specific, but they're important because these are real people who have lost a lot of weight and kept it off. So I think it's very good to know. Overall, they have done it in many, many different ways, but it seems like there are some common practices among this population, which, by the way, is thousands and thousands of people. So I think it is important to see what have they done, what are these real people done to lose weight and keep it off. So I want you to know, of course, what are the general recommendations, but what have these people in the National Weight Control Registry done? I think the rest is self-explanatory. So if you guys have any questions over the week, please let me know, and have a good week, and I will see you on the discussion board. Take care.